So you can keep an eye on the chat. So if there's any feedback that I need to know, you can just let me know. You can interject me in between the session
All right.
to let me know. Okay. So thank you. So good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's session. Today's session where I'll be taking day three. Today should be day three of your Excel training. So first of all, who is Joseph Fadera? Joseph Fadera, I would say I am to summarize all of these things which I have put together. I would say I am a problem solver who uses the tool at his disposal to solve the problem at hand. In regards to that, I may be wearing the foot of a data practitioner. I could be wearing the foot of a local developer. I could be wearing the foot of a data and analytics consultant. But right now, my current work work title is a data and analytics consultant, and what it entails is I I basically do a lot of things around data, so data engineering, data science, and data analyst. I have a couple of Microsoft certifications. How you get the certification? Some of them include taking Microsoft certification exams. Some of them include awards given by awards or professional credentials given by Microsoft. So some of them which I have, I'm a Microsoft certified trainer. I'm a Fabric analytical engineer. I'm a Power BI data analyst. Azure Data Fundamentals. I have Power Platform Fundamentals, and I am a Power Platform super user. And in addition to this, I just became a Microsoft Power Up champ. So those who may be in the Power program, they I just became like a champ. So a champ is somebody that assists the learners in helping in gaining some of the skills and knowledge. So that's some of the things about me. I've changed. I think this slide is not even up to date. Up to date. I've trained a lot of people in regards to data and analytics, and I've built a lot of projects in regards to data and analytics. And I run a lot of community platforms because one thing about me, I am community centric. I gained a lot from the community, and I love to give back to the community. And I keep on gaining a lot from the community and giving back to the community. So I host some community program like the Analytic Extra mentorship program as well with Adewale Yusuf, Datakliq as well with my amazing Datakliq crew, and Citizen Developer HQ, a platform to help people interested in learning low code skills and technology. Now, what do we have to do today? On a scale of 1 to 10, I don't know if I believe we may have done this before, but me, I want to know on a scale of 1 to 10, how okay, so I'll ask two questions. On a scale of 1 to 10, how powerful do you think Excel is? And on a scale of 1 to 10, rate your level of proficiency with Excel. Just rate what you think, 1 to 10, what you think you can do with Excel. So I'll just be checking the chat right now to see the feedback and response. And I have some files which I'll be sharing with us. Don't know if that'll be during or after the session, but we'll see. So on a scale of 1 to 10, okay, so somebody is saying Excel is 9, powerful, and the person is a 4. Interesting. Excel is 10. Oh, okay. And the person is Excel is 10, the person is 9. Okay, I can see. Oh, I have somebody that's 8 in Excel. Interesting. So I have a lot of people that will continue from where I stopped today. So I can see a lot of eights in Excel. I can see eight, I can see five, I can see three, I can see five, 10, 6. Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of interesting responses in the class. So if I'm to say like on an average, maybe I'll say everybody in class is tilting towards maybe high Excel usage. They are rating Excel high, um, and they are rating themselves maybe between mean level, maybe five or more in Excel. That's interesting. That's nice. So thank you everybody for that. Now, I want to ask you guys, do you know that with Excel, you can build applications with Excel? Excel is a powerful tool that you can build even apps with Excel. How many of us is aware of that? Now, I have actually three that I wanted to show us, but I'm just going to be showing one for time. And maybe I may share the one with us, maybe to play around with. So let me let me take us to this. How many of us have seen this before? How many of us have seen what I'm talking of? How many of us have seen this type of game before? It's called tic tac toe, but in your part of the world, what do you know it as? In your part of the world, what do you know it as? Let me see. For some, yeah, I know there are some. We have some people joining in from different countries. But what do you know it in your own particular location as? What do you know this game as? So this is a popular game that I'm sure maybe a lot of us explored in our childhood. But what do we know it as? Let me see. Oh, I can see X and O, X and O, X and O, X and O, X and O. Will you believe that with Excel they created this X and O, this simple Excel X and O game? Now, what I did was the link to the site that did this. I wasn't the one that did this, by the way, but I kind of learned how to do this. But I left the link so that they have other amazing things that they've done with Excel for you to explore. Maybe if I share this file, I'll share this file with you guys to play around with. Now let me just show you something. So I'll just click on start. So I'll just come here, maybe this X, the computer does O. Maybe I come here, play X, the computer does O, I come here X, computer goes O, and this is a job. This is a job. And all of this was built solely with Excel. No other no other application as well. So this was built with Excel, X, a simple X and O system. Now there's other variation, other things I've seen people do with Excel, like there's the Bible in Excel. I couldn't really find the file. I have the file somewhere in my system. Maybe later I'll share that. There's the there's also the Quran in Excel. There are a lot of other wonderful applications people have gone ahead to build with Excel. So with this little demonstration just soon, how excited are we to learn what we have to do today? Who knows? Maybe we may build an X and O system with Excel today. So now, so before I proceed, I want to ask do we all have access to the chat? To um the chat, right? I just want to confirm that. Okay, I've seen messages from the chat, so that's so because I want to probably send a file which I'll be using in today's class to the chat, or maybe I'll share that with you, happiness, and you share it with everybody. That good? Yeah, good. Okay, so even before I get to this file, right, I'm just going to be testing some of our knowledge in Excel just before I go to this file, before I jump ahead of this file. Now, what we have to do today, ideally, let me zoom in a bit. What we have to do today, we're going to be talking on some key important topics in Excel. Okay, so can we all see these three topics on my screen? Can
Yes,
we
we
all
can.
see this?
Yes, I can see it,
Okay,
Joseph.
okay.
Please
So my
react
assist,
to it.
yeah, my assistant colleague, they finally decided to talk. Okay, so that's good. So yeah, you can always chip in. You can see this topic on my screen. Now, I want to ask you, have you come across or heard about any of these three topics before? Or is there anyone that you've not heard about before? If you've not heard about, so let me give them numbers. Just one moment. If you've not heard about any of these three, just signify. If you've not heard about any of these three, so how you should do it is, if you've not heard about any of them, just write one, two, three. Not heard about one, two, three. If you've heard about, if you've not heard about two, just write not heard about two. If you've not heard about three, just write not heard about three in the chat. I'll just coming back to the chat. So I can see two and three. I can see one.
Oh,
Okay.
mm,
I can see
I
one,
have
two,
not
three.
heard about dynamic arrays. Yes, but cell referencing, Mr. Koi said a lot about of it, and I have seen a lot on lookup functions to VLOOKUP and the rest.
Hmm. You have some assistance. So Corey talked about self-referencing. Wow, that is that is amazing because that will save us time today. But you guys are going to defend show working, as I would say. You guys are going to show working. Are we all in agreement that we learned about self-referencing last time? I just want to confirm. Somebody said they can't see anything. I want to confirm. Is it just from the person or happiness? Can you still see my screen?
Yeah, I can still see your screen. If at any point you can't see the screen, kindly rejoin, leave and join the meeting back again. But see, please, can you confirm you can see the screen on the chat?
Okay. 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 So I can see we just learned about self-referencing in the last class, right? Okay. And do we all know about the difference between a table and a range? Was that also taught in the last class? Okay, so, somebody is asking me a question. How about writing the serial numbers with just a function? Okay, so I'm guessing it's talking about what I just showed earlier. Okay, okay, no problem, no problem, no problem, no problem. So I'll first of all do a recap on the cell references. But what I will do for this recap, I will ask you guys a question. I will ask you guys a question since we've done it just so that we cement the knowledge. Because if you don't know cell referencing, you will struggle a lot with local functions. That is, you are going to struggle a lot with local functions if you don't properly know cell referencing. So it's intentional that we taught it before and right. So I want us to look at my screen. So please, everybody, let's try to uh, um, pay attention. So just look at my screen right now. So if I have a scenario like, if I have a scenario where hello, can you hear me, happiness?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you, Joseph.
Okay, so let me just change up my network a bit. So I think it disconnected with me. Okay, you can hear me now, right? I just switched on my to avoid connection.
Yeah, but there's the way your voice is sounding, but I can hear you.
How is it sounding? Is it sounding clearer or nothing? Is it better now?
Like you're using a mic a bit far from the mic or something.
How was this before? Was it
It was
sounding like that on?
no, it wasn't sounding
Okay,
like that at the start of the class. It wasn't.
okay, so let me just change back. I don't know if it's from my network.
Please, if at any point you
Happiness.
can't hear or see his screen, especially if you can't see his screen, just try rejoining the class because it's visible. If it's not
Um,
visible, I will let you know. I will let him know because I have two devices I use and checking. So if you can't see his screen,
happiness.
just try rejoining.
How about now? How is it sounding?
Yeah, it's perfect now. It's perfect.
Okay.
So please, in the issues of you can't see his screen, try rejoining because I have devices I use in checking if I can see his screen. If at any point I can't see his screen, I will let him know. But if you can't see his screen, just try rejoining the class, leave and join back again. Thank you. So Joseph, you can go ahead. Your voice is nice and clear now.
Okay. Okay. So I just don't want any network issues or something. So so just pay attention to my screen, right? Just pay attention to my screen. So I just want to quickly test. Okay, so if looking at this name, right? So I have a quick question for us. So if I do, let's take this as a scenario of students in a school, and they did let's say this is a cumulative score over time in their school. Like they've been doing tests in their school, they've been doing tests in their school, and this is like their first term test. Students in their school, the first term test. Now now the teacher said, you know what? I want to give 10. I want to give 10 to both of them. I want to add these people's score by plus 10. But what I want to do is I don't want to add code this number 10 inside the formula. You know you can do it. So what I'm saying is you can do 20 plus 10. You know this will give the answer. I want you to always pick up whatever value that is here and add it to these people's number. So let me call this for new add. So whatever that is in this column is going to be added to it. Whatever that is in this cell is going to be added to it. So let's look up. So if I do this plus this, right? And I hit enter and I drag this down, what do you think happened? Is this answering the question? First of all, is this answering the question that the recommendation that the teacher said that he wants to add the two of them score by whatever is in this cell?
No, it is not, sir.
Do we all agree with that? Okay, so I can see no, no, it's not, no, it's not. Okay, okay. Somebody said yes. Okay, okay. So I'll go over the question again so that we're clear. So I said this is the score of the student. Now the teacher came and said, want to add this score by this. This is probably the teacher doesn't want to hard code. The teacher, you know what hard coding means? Hard coding means you're writing the formula directly in the cell. The teacher wants a situation where, because the teacher may come again and change his mind that, okay, I don't want this to be plus 10. 10 is too much. I want it to be plus 5, plus 2, plus 6 or so. But whatever is in this yellow cell, it should be what adds this value together, and so that we get a score new. A score new. Now, if you see for this first one, I did this is equals to, let me try to increase this. I did this is equals to D9 plus A4, and I drag the formula down. But if we see 30 plus 10, it shouldn't give us 60, right? 30 plus 10 shouldn't give us 60. So I want us to quickly think about this. What do you think the issue is? What do we think the issue is? So
Can I
my
speak, sir?
volunteers, yes, yes, let's go ahead.
The issue was that Ezel was thinking that for the please can you remove the chat from
The
this thing
chat.
so I can use it as yes. All right, sir. The Ezel was thinking that it was looking at cell E3 then plus cell D9. So after that, when you move to cell D10, it's moved the other one to cell E6 because we did not make it an absolute reference.
Okay. Okay. So my next question is, if so, first of all, what's the shortcut? No, I won't say shortcut. How do we change the reference? So first of all, what's this reference that we have here? What type of reference is this?
I don't really know the name for the reference, sir.
Okay. Can anybody bail him out?
Relative reference.
Okay. Thank you. The reason I'm saying this, you guys said you did it earlier, so I'm just trying to revise it. So this is relative reference, right? So how do I change the reference? Big question. How do I change the reference?
Okay, sir. We lock in the 10 that we want to add, the cell that has the number 10, we lock it in. And to lock it in, we add $sign to the colon and the row, or simply press F4 to lock it in, sir.
F4 is better because dollar sign is still like a bit is manual because you have to add dollar to each of them. The F4 just does it automatically. Now, if you are using now your laptop, some of you your laptop may F4 may do something else. So some of you may have to press Fn. Fn is a function key on your laptop, and F4 to lock it. Now, what type of reference is this?
It is absolute reference, sir.
Absolute reference. Now, I
Yes,
just
sir.
want to ask. I want to ask us, right? You said okay because we did not make it an absolute reference. I want to ask what will happen if I change the reference to this. What will happen? Will my formula still be correct or will my formula be wrong?
I did okay to $E4.
Yeah.
Ah, let's somebody else should help me, sir.
Okay, no problem, no problem. Who can be me? If I change it to this, will my formula still be correct or will it be wrong? Will it still be wrong? Or let's even see the result. So that answers it, right? What type of reference is this? Who can bail us out? What type of reference is this? What type of reference is this? Any of the volunteers? Hmm. Somebody said column constant. Yeah, so for the person that said yeah, look, don't worry. That's the point of the reason why I'm doing it like this, so that it's going to be like a revision for you. So I'm still going to get to my point. So E4 is so this is column constant. And just a quick question. I don't want to assume. What's a column? What's a row? What are your columns? What are your rows? Quickly. Let's not overthink this. What are your columns? What are your rows?
The columns are the one with the number. The rows are the one with the alphabet.
Hmm. Is that correct? That's correct. So you said your columns are the ones that are with the number 1, 2, 3,
3, 4, yes.
and the rows are the alphabet. Do
Yes, sir.
we agree with that?
I don't think I want to agree with that. He might be right, depending on how he's explaining it. But I would say
Mm-hmm.
the columns run from up to down and the rows run from left to right.
Okay. 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 So okay. Thank you. So I like the fact you answered the question. Now it's good. Any idea you have, it's good to, because we're learning together. They're learning together. So it's also good to share that idea. So don't feel like, oh, you're wrong, you're right, or something. Now, yes, ideally the letters are your columns, your rows are your numbers. That's how to do it. And for you to find the number of columns in Excel, you can do equals to, there's a formula called column, uh, columns. Yeah, columns. All you just have to do is select from the first one, A, and control. Let me do to the end of Excel. Okay. Can you see? To the end of Excel. So these are the total number of columns in Excel. 16,384. And how I did this was using a formula called columns. You don't have to cram this, you don't have to memorize this. I'm just showing us for you to know the number of columns. And that can tell you that these are definitely columns. How you can, the letters are definitely columns, because if you check, this is from A. If I go to the last letter in my Excel sheet, I should have something like A, what's it? What is it? And just do control right out it. I have up to XFD. If you convert this to a number, you get that number that we have there. So that's the number of columns we have. Now for the number of rows, if I do control down arrow key to the end, you can see this number, 1 million 48,576. Control down arrow key is to go to the very end of Excel. That's Excel sheet can only take this bit of information. 1,400 and 1,048,576 rows. And there's a formula too that can get that as well. Using equals to rows, you can get the number of rows in Excel. So you just need to select every single thing. Just do control down every single thing and you get the number of rows in Excel. Now, I said you don't have to memorize this too. It's just information that is good to know. So the reason why I asked that is, so the person that said this is what column constant is correct. What it means is they are locking the column. They are locking the column. Now, before I explain it in my own words, the last question I'll just have to ask. If I do this and I drag this down, will my formula be correct or wrong? If I do this, if I change this and drag the formula down, will my formula be correct or wrong? Look at this. This D9 plus E$4, and I drag it down. Any idea? Any quick response? Is my formula be correct or wrong? Happiness, can you still hear me? Just want to confirm.
Yes, I can see your
Happiness,
screen.
okay, you can hear me clearly. So if I drag this down, will the formula still be correct or wrong? Okay, so anybody wants to try from my volunteers? Anybody wants to talk?
People are commenting from the comment section though, just to let you know.
Okay. Sorry, I had to. So I'm seeing correct, I'm seeing wrong, I'm seeing correct, I'm seeing wrong. Wrong. I want somebody that is willing to speak. So if you are willing to speak, if you are saying correct, explain why it's correct. If you are saying wrong, explain why it's wrong. So anybody. My volunteers, they're not speaking. Or should I change volunteers?
Should I unmute someone?
You can mute
Samuel, I'm
somebody.
muting you now. Samuel, Dada Samuel, something. Please, you can go ahead. You might unmute your mic and speak. Nino, you can speak. You have been unmuted. Nino.
Sorry, can I talk?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, it will be correct to give you a correct answer because you
It will be
locked
correct.
the value in the row. That particular value is what you want to apply to every other thing, and that's what you locked. So it will work.
Okay, so what
Hello,
type
can
of
you hear
reference?
me? Oh, okay.
Yes. What type of reference is this?
Absolute reference.
Is this absolute? Look at the formula bar again. Is this absolute? Anybody want to bail out? Anybody? So yes, your explanation is correct. But what type of reference is this? Is this absolute? Okay, is this absolute? Is this absolute? So let me check the chat. So maybe somebody in the chat would have.
Emmanuel Keleke, you have been unmuted.
Okay, so I'm seeing lots of interesting response in the chat. Okay, you guys said you've done it. So okay, so yes. So I don't know who spoke because the person was correct on the formula is going to be correct. Now let me show us. This is going to give us the correct answer. 30 plus 10 is equal to 40. But this is not an absolute reference. This is a type of reference called row constant. Row constant. Row constant. So now the key thing is understanding the concept. You don't have to cram anything. Data analytics is not, you don't have to cram anything. Now if I'm to shock you people, if I'm to tell you that I've not touched Excel in maybe 3 months, I've been doing a lot of SQL, Python, and other stuff. I do not have to cram all of these things. The key thing is understanding the concept. Understanding the concept can allow you to be able to apply the concept in anything you want to do. Now, this is called row constant. Now, in a lot of places, you will see they are, you will see they are, you either see they are, you either see there are three, you see there are four type of cell reference. If you see there are three, they are correct. If you see they break it down into four, they are still most likely correct. But it's ideally three, but three that is three that can be broken down into four in types of cell references that we have. And I'm just going to type it here. So the person that said I should go over it again, so please may want to pay attention. So we have the first one, which is called relative reference. Second one is called absolute reference, which we all love. The third one, which we normally see in a lot of places, is mixed reference. Somebody also said mixed reference. Now, the mixed reference can be broken down into row constants and column constants. Column constants. So what that means in short is that instead of having some places, you will see it broken down as four types of references in Excel. But if you have it as three, it's fine, it's still correct. If you have it as four, it's still correct. Some places they will not call this mix, they will just call it row constants and column constants in Excel. Now, let me just skip interpretation. I want you to see um, I want you guys to see how it is. So the first one, when I do E4, it's called relative. Now, if I do this, is called your absolute reference. Then if I do this is a row constant, and if I do dollar $E4, this is what a column constant. Column constant. So interpretation, I'm using this case study as an example. So E4, what are you saying with relative reference? Relative is the normal way Excel will do your reference, in the sense that you are saying that, you know what, this number, this 10, this 10 that we have here, let me just show each and every iteration of it. So please focus on my screen a bit. Yeah, so I'm zooming in so that we can see clearly. So what this is saying, for the first scenario, when I did this 20 plus this first value, what it was saying is that this 20 can add this value, and when I drag this formula down, it's saying that this 30 will add the next value in the line. And it is called relative because you are not locking anything. You are not locking anything. Now, this row constant that we did here, that I said that if I just lock uh, if I just lock the row and I drag it down, will it be correct? This is only correct because I am dragging it down by the row. What I have done is I've told Excel that it should only lock this value, this 10 value, which I have in my formula, to this particular row. So when I drag the formula down to row 5, it's not going to change to what we have in row 5. But where there will be an issue is if I drag the formula to the right. Because for row constant, because I'm not locking the column, we are the ones that agree that the column are your letters. Because I'm not locking the column, if I drag my formula to this right side, I will get a different result. I'll get a different result. Let me just show you, for example. If I drag this to the right, see, the reason I'm even getting this text is because text is here. Let me even delete it. So you see, this is 0. If I drag it to the right, I will get a different result because it is referencing, it will change from referencing F4 here to G4. But if I drag it down, it won't come to G5. It will still stay on G4. But for row constant, what row constant is saying is if you want the value to be fixed at a particular row, you can use row constant. Column constant, on the other hand, is if you want the value to be fixed at the column level, just the column level. That means if you drag it down, the values may be changing. But if you drag it to the right, it's not going to change from column F, or because I added more cells, that's why I changed in here. But it's not going to change from column F. It's always going to remain in column F. That is what column constant is. They are saying the column should be fixed at that particular value. Now, absolute reference, they are saying in this cell, you don't care if they drag it to the left, to the right, to the south, to the east, to the west. You don't care. All you want is that whatever is in this cell should remain. Whatever is in this cell should remain. Now, for this scenario, that is ideal. It's ideal because you are saying whatever is in this cell should remain. That means even if they come here and they add something later, they are not interested. Whatever is in this cell, F4, should remain. That is when you use the absolute reference, where you don't care if they change it to the left, change it to the right. You want the value to be fixed at that particular position in time as well. So that is where you have the absolute reference. Now, the reason why I'm telling you this is that it's not all scenarios that you will have to use absolute reference. Some scenarios you may have to use row constant. Some scenarios you may have to use column constant. So understanding what they do is important. It's very, very important. This is just a short interpretation. When you are not locking anything at all, I'll just go over it again. You are saying it is a relative reference. When you are locking your column and you are locking your row, you are saying it's an absolute reference. That's whatever is in that cell should always remain. When you are locking only the row, but you are not locking the column, that means if I move it to the right, the right, if I move it from F to T, the value will change. That is row constant. But if I drag it down, the value will not change. That is row constant. For column constant, what I'm saying is if I drag it to T, the value is not going to, the value is not going to change. It's always going to reference what is in F. But if I drag it down, the values are going to change. That, in short, is self-referencing. The bit of self-referencing you have to know for you to progress. I don't know, is that a bit clear? Is that clearer now? Is that clear? Is that clear? Is that clear? That's part of what we have to do today, but it's also like a recap. A recap of of the last session. Is that clear?
It's very clear, sir.
Okay, so I can see a response by Fiesta Joey. So Fiesta, do you want to talk? You want to talk because Fiesta, can you raise up your hand so that we can just make things a bit clearer to you? If, Or are you good now? Yes, sir. Are you good? Are you good? Yes, sir, Joey. I don't know if I pronounce it well. Uh, are you good? Are you good? Okay. So before I get into the lookup function because I said cell referencing is a prerequisite for lookup function. If I get into this lookup function, right, I can see some hands up. So I'll just take quick questions, maybe for 2 minutes. Quick questions, then we will now get into lookup functions properly. Okay, so I can see some hands were up. So if you have a question, you can type it, or if you want to speak, you can just give a thumbs up. You want to speak, and happiness, please. Maybe you help on mute.
All right, give me a minute.
Okay, okay. So
I've unmuted some
okay,
people.
okay. So I'll just take Chiamaka's question, which I can see. What do we have to change it? So you but to change it. So when you press the F4 once, when you press the F4 once, it gives you the absolute reference. But if you press it again, so let me show you, for example. I'm just going to press it once first. Absolute. I press it again. F4 again. It changes it to what type of reference is it? Row constant. I press it again. It changes it to column constant. So by pressing the F4 multiple times, it goes through all the four which are listed. So the first one is relative, absolute, row, row constant, then you have your column constant. So pressing it's the same F4 you press over and over again to get the value. I hope that clarifies things, Yamata.
Yeah, Joseph, there's no questions on the Q&A.
Okay, so no question, no question.
No questions from the Q&A. From the chat, you've read the one. How do you do it when you need to lock a column and a row at the same time, I assume?
Hmm. So I'm not really too clear about your question.
No, the person is asking,
Maybe
how will you at the same time lock the column and the row? That's the absolute cell
yeah.
referencing.
Okay. I just got better now. Yeah. So that's the point of absolute reference. So absolute reference. What is a cell? A cell is an interjection between a row and a column. That is what a cell is. So every single place you have here are called cells. Are called cell. I'm sure that must have been covered in your introduction to Excel. So these are called cell. And maybe in interviews, maybe you're going for a cell job, they will ask you, oh, what is the difference between a cell, the row, the column? If you are going for a beginner role, a cell is an interjection between your row and column. For the absolute reference, they are locking the cell. They are locking this F4. So you want a situation where you want the row and column to be constant. That is what the absolute reference does as well. Okay. So I didn't get back from. So the scenario determines what you need to do for you to know when to use an absolute, when to use a row, when to use a column constant. So like I said, in this scenario, if we use this scenario, we already know that we can't use a column constant because it's not going to achieve what we want. What we want to do ideally is lock the rows. Lock the rows. This is just a simple scenario. You want to lock the rows. Then your mind should think of, okay, you want a situation of when they drag the formula. I'm using drag because it's something you can relate to. When you drag the formula down, you don't want the value to change. Then you think of, oh, should I do a row constant? Should I use the absolute reference? Now, the difference between using row constant and absolute reference is for you to use absolute reference, you are sure, you are 100% sure that you are not going to need to drag this formula to the right again. You are sure you may not need to drag this formula to the right again. Let me just demonstrate what I'm saying. So if I have a situation of this, let's say plus this, I change it to uh, absolute reference. So this will give me 30. So I'm sure I'm not going to drag this formula to the right. But if a scenario comes, for instance, and the teacher said, you know what, I want us to add another score here to the people. Maybe I want to have this score new two, right? Now for this one, I'll just make this E4 here absolute. The reason why I'm making this E4, I don't want it to change from this 20. But your focus should be on this second part of the formula, not this first part of the formula. Now, the teacher say, I want a situation where, okay, I want to see the score new and the score new 2. The score new 2, we are adding by 20. We're adding by 40. So what you do in that type of scenario is, if I did it as an absolute and I drag it to the right. Okay, I didn't log this one. So this one I'll go to go. I'll go right. So if I do this and I drag it to the right, you see the formula is not changing. It's still on this 30. It's still doing this 20 plus 10 for this new 2. So knowing the type of reference can help you automate your formula, like in the sense of you can be able to drag your formula to the left or right as fast as possible. So if this was the current scenario, doing this as an absolute may not be the best approach, because you know that there's going to be something else you want to drag your formula to. So for instance, that's this 40. If the content change that you want to add for the new score, you want to add it by 40. Doing this as an absolute reference, you have to now come again here and you have to now change the reference of this to be G4. If your teacher comes again and asks, okay, let's see a score new 3, you have to change it to G5 or G6. Now, instead of me doing this as a column constant, remember what I said, don't focus on this first formula. I'm just showing, because each of these formula, this is a formula, each of them have their own reference. But I'm just showing example with this second part of the formula. If I change this second part of the formula to row constant, not column constant, and I drag this formula to the right, so G4, so 20 plus 40 is what? That will give you 60. That will give you 60. So me dragging it to the right in this scenario works because I did not say that when it has to be on this cell F4. I'm just giving the scenario to clarify things a bit. When we go into lookup function, maybe you get to see more on this. But like I said, if you don't properly know cell referencing, you struggle with lookup functions. I hope that clarifies things for, I don't know who asked the last question. No. Yeah, so yes, Andrews, yes, the two of them should give you the same result. But I said scenarios is what will determine which one you have to use. There's sometimes that your column constant and your absolutes may even give you the same result, but you have to know why they are doing whatever analytics you want to do. Now, back to the back to lookup lookup function. Now, one thing I like to do for people when they are learning this, one thing I like to do for people when they are learning this lookup function is I don't just want to go into telling you what to lookup function. And this file I'm going to be sharing with you, it has a task. They are going to do the remaining yourself. The other instructor may continue from where we stop, but there's also going to be tasks for you to carry out. So this is a file I created with Excel. So you have this file. So if you click on the navigation buttons, you can go to specific pages of the file with Excel. So let me go to story, for instance. Can we all see my screen? Can we all hear me clearly?
Yes, I can see your screen, Joseph.
Okay. Okay. So first of all, I want us to imagine. Now. I know a lot of us we have probably a place of work. We have places that we're working. But I want us to imagine this is a case study type scenario where you have a business, where there's a business, right? And you are hired as a data analyst for the business. So you are giving your boss probably comes to you. Hi John, I need your help on something. Now you respond, sure, I would like to help you. What do you need? So the finance team just sent in a table that contains employee codes and current salary. I need you to assist to populate the table with the names, age, department of the staff. I have included the employee dimension table to help with that. Okay, boss, would that be all? And when do you need the information? One last thing, you will need to calculate the new salary of some staff based on certain criteria. I have included additional information on the tax sheet. I need the information on or before Friday, 11:59 p.m. Thank you. Okay, boss. Thank you. Now, just to clarify the what your employer said. Your employer said that the finance team of your company, they need to populate this particular information. They have the code of the employee, the contract date the employee is in. They want to know the contract age. That's how long has the employee contract been? What should the new salary be? What should the new salary of the employee be? And what's the employee name, age, and what's the department of the employee? Now, your boss, maybe your boss or the HR of the organization sends you information of, oh, this is the information we collected from all our employees. This is the information we collected from all our employees from inception. We have their code, we have their name, we have their age, their contract date, their height in feet and inches, and the department they belong to. This is what boss, your boss sent to you to help you prepare for this information. Now, this information is here, but you need to help the finance team. The finance team are asking you, oh, we need this information to complete maybe our tax filing. Maybe they want to file in tax or they want to file in physical information for the business. Like, how can you bring information that is in this table to information that is in this table? Are we all clear with my explanation? Are we all clear with my explanation? Or did we all hear me?
Yes, we are clear.
Okay, so Precious said no. Okay, but I'm seeing a lot of yes. I'm seeing a lot of yes. I'm seeing a lot of yes. Okay, so just go over it again one last time so that we are clear with the instruction, and this is how I'll now help us to get the information. So we have a situation where the finance team, and this is actually a real life situation because when you are working in as an analyst, a department may have information, or a particular department may have one information in a database, it may be in a table, it may be somewhere else, and you may need to collect that information to carry out your analysis. Now this is Excel. This is by using Excel. So your data could be in one particular spreadsheet somewhere, and they probably just sent you the information, and you need to populate that information into another spreadsheet. So if we were to do this manually, now let me even explain how would you do this manually? I see this code. This is AJ49. Now name. I will have to they give you this list, and let me see how many records do I have in this list. I have over 200 names, 200 codes that I have to populate. I will have to come here. This is AJ49. Come to this place, look at this table, and look for, let me do Control F. I'll copy this. Now, the shortcut to find something in Excel, Control F. Now, I'm just going to paste this, Control C, AJ49, find next. And with this, I will have to look for this AJ Green, right? I'll come here, I will type the name as AJ Green, come back here, look for the person's age, give the age, then come back here and look for the person's department. Now, I just want to ask you a question. If I'm to do this for 250 names, how many hours do you think it will take me to do this? If I'm to do how I just demonstrated or how I just explained for 250 names. Somebody said 1 year. 1 year. And okay, so did you see the timeline they gave me to complete this task? 11:59 p.m. So that same day. I have to do this for 250 something names, more than 3 hours the whole day. I can see eternity. I can see eternity. That'll be a hell lot of time, right? Okay. It's going to take us, exactly. It's going to take us. Somebody said my voice is not synchronizing with my demonstration. Sean, is it a lag? Is happiness? Are you experiencing that? Is it the same with other people? Just want to confirm. Okay, so if it's not the same with other people, please you may want to check your network. You may want to check your network. Check your network if it's not the same. So that's why we have a lot of people on the call. So if you are noticing that bit of lag, please check your network. But if it's something everybody is experiencing, please let me know. But thanks for bringing it to my notice. Yeah, thanks for bringing it to my notice as well. So now, right now, so that's like we all said, that will take us years or more to achieve. To achieve. Now, what is it that Excel did to solve this problem? What is it that Excel did to solve this problem? That Excel introduced something called lookup functions. So we have lookup functions in Excel. Now, lookup function in Excel, what they just do typically from the name, lookup. You want to, anytime you have to look up information from one particular sheet, table, or range, and populate that information in another table or range, think of lookup function. You are looking up something. Now, let me relate it with a real world example. Let's take your book. Now, if you have a storybook or a notebook or a even textbook, for example, and the you have to find a particular topic in the textbook, what would you look for? What would you look for? Like you have to find where a particular topic in a textbook is located. What will help you find that?
Table of contents, sir.
Okay, yes, your table of contents. But I'm looking at, think of something more specific. Like we want to find where that particular, you've seen the table of content now, but what information will tell you where that particular topic is located?
Index number.
Excellent. I really like that very much. So you have something called your index number, or you could call it your page number. So by knowing, do we all agree? By knowing your page number, the page number where that topic is, you will be able to find where that topic is located. You'll be able to go to that page where that topic is located. Do we all agree with that? Or do anybody disagree? Is there any book that you cannot know where it's located by knowing the page number? Do we all agree? Is that bit clear?
Yes.
So that's essentially like how lookup functions work. That's essentially how lookup function work. Now there are a lot of lookup functions out there. We have index, we have match, we have H lookup, we have V lookup, we have my personal one that I really, really like. We have X lookup, then we have some other lookup functions. And for you to get the functions to use in Excel, you have a tab called formulas in Excel. Now, if you come to these formulas in Excel, if you scroll down, you see this lookup and references. You can see the different type of formulas that we have that can either do lookup or do referencing in Excel. You have match, you have index and match, you have X match. When you see X attached to most functions, they are like the newer version of the functions, or so they can do slightly more. So, but these are like the basic ones, which you see a lot of times that if you know these basic ones, you most likely not have to struggle with knowing a lot of lookup functions. Now, index works the same way. You have index for your book. But for this particular class, I'll be speaking more to VLOOKUP because one thing is that I know some of us may not have XLOOKUP given our version of Excel. Index and match, I personally also like index and match, but VLOOKUP may be slightly easier if you function before, because like an index and match needs some practical explaining and some deep dive for you to properly. Then you have HLOOKUP. HLOOKUP stands for horizontal lookup. It's just like horizontal lookup. VLOOKUP stands for vertical lookup. Then you have XLOOKUP. XLOOKUP is the newer version, and XLOOKUP, the reason why I like XLOOKUP can do HLOOKUP or VLOOKUP at the same time. So you can either look horizontal, you can look vertical. Horizontal lookup, the difference between horizontal lookup is that for horizontal lookup or like H lookup, you have your table. If your table is in a horizontal format, what do I mean by that? That's why I said it's not really conventional. You won't really see a lot of it. I think it's in Europe. I think some countries in Europe use this format of table. But let me just show it. I'm just going to transpose this. So if your table is probably in like this type of format, I think this is how some countries store their own data. Then page lookup may come in handy to finding that information. But most of the time, you'll be working with vertical tables. You'll be working with tables in vertical format, and that's where the lookup comes in handy. The lookup comes in handy. So now, like I said, for the sake of this class, I'll be talking more on VLOOKUP. What I will do for you for index and match, I've done a recording before, a class on index and match. I'll try to find the video. If not, I'll find other supporting recording on index and match to show us that XLOOKUP, I can do XLOOKUP. XLOOKUP, I can do it anytime, any day. It's simple. XMatch works the same way match works as well. So you don't have to struggle too much on that as well. So let us understand VLOOKUP. Now, for you to work with a function in Excel or any tool, you need to understand what the function argument is. So what is VLOOKUP asking for? VLOOKUP. Now, if you've not used a function before, under this formulas tab, if you come to insert function or you press shift F3, now this is very good because though with the invention of AI now, you may not really need this because AI can already tell you like what functions to use and all. But before the invention of AI, Excel, by just typing a brief description of what you want to do, Excel can recommend a function for you. Like Excel can tell you, oh, maybe you want to do this, you want to do that. And so that's what we were using traditionally before a lot of these LLMs like ChatGPTs and other tools came out to make life easier for people. But what this will typically do is if you type what you want to do, if I type lookup, for example, and I press go, it will show me all the lookup functions I have to use in Excel or whatever tool I want to use. Now, if you see, by looking at them, there's actually the normal lookup function. By looking at them, you can read them and to get an overview of what exactly they do and how they operate so that it could make life easier for yourself as well. But like I said, for the sake of this class, the focus will be on VLOOKUP because a lot of us, our version of Excel will be able to most likely carry VLOOKUP. XLOOKUP is a newer version of this tool. It's very, very powerful. But if you are not using from I think 2019 upwards, you most likely not have XLOOKUP. And the same way for XMatch. So that's why I don't want to start showing you guys and you guys say, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. Just so that issue. So VLOOKUP. The moment you select the function you want to use, you can click on OK. Now this will open something called the function argument box. The function argument box. Now, this function argument box is, like I said, if you've not used a function in Excel before, this can help you. It is basically telling you what it's asking for in each of those function sites. Lookup value. Your lookup value is like that your page number, which I said, is the bit of information that can be found in both tables. Is the bit of information that can be found in both tables that are common together that can help you get the information you want to extract. The table array is telling you about what table can the information be found in? That's what the table array is telling you about. Column index number is telling you at what particular column are you interested in finding the information in. Then you have something called range lookup. Are you looking for an exact match or you are looking for an approximate match of your results? And we are going to touch each and every piece of this together. So that's the function argument block. So for VLOOKUP, I'll just type it here again so we can see. We have the lookup value. We have the table array, column index number. Then we have the range lookup. Happiness, how is the mood in the chat going? Is everybody following or are you seeing any complaint? Or is everything going well?
Yes, yes, I'm getting positive reactions. Someone just say that, please, we don't understand. State what you don't understand, because I don't know what you mean by I don't understand. If you're confused, always use the Q&A, because if you're chatting, put it on the chat, I might miss it. So you can go ahead, Joseph.
Okay, no problem. Thank you for that. So VLOOKUP, the reason why I typed it here is so that we can see it. So lookup value. So just see it as the column or the value. Let me use the value that is common between tables array. Table array is talking about the table where the information can be found. Then you have column index number. I tell you what is the number of the column that you are interested in. The range lookup is, do you want an exact match or you want the closest or you want an approximate match? So that's what you need to know for this VLOOKUP. Now let's look at this data and let's try to deduce from this data how we can get this information. How can we get this VLOOKUP information? So first of all, we said the lookup value, the value that is common between both tables or array. So in this table so if we want to do name, this contract age and new salary, leave it for now. That may be your assignment later on. This name, we want to populate this name. For example, what table or what piece of information is common between this table we have here, and this table that we have here? What information is common between the two? So look at this table. This is the employee dimension, right? So what information can we find in the two of them that is common in the two of them?
Code.
We have answers on the chat.
Okay, code. So if you remember when I was even saying how I would do it manually, you have to look for the code in this table, you have to look for the code this table and what the code value is in this particular table. So the code in this table is our lookup value. So our code is our lookup value. So we are looking for this information, right? So code is our lookup value for the sake of this exercise. Now, once we found this value, our code is our lookup value. In what table are we looking for this information in? So let's think about it properly. Now, this is the table we need to populate. But we are looking for this code in a particular table so that we can get the information from it. What table is that table I'm talking about? So let's think. So we have the code in this table, right? We have the code here. But if you remember that last step, once I found the code here, I now have to check a particular table that has the information which I'm interested in. So what table will that be? The employee dimension. So exactly, the employee dimension is the table that has the information that you are interested in. Like the code has the value you are looking for. This is the value you are looking for. This is what the lookup value. The code has the lookup value. But you now have to take this lookup value and check it for a table that has the information you are interested in. So we all said the table is what? Employee dimension, right? Now the column index number. What are we saying with the column index number? When we found this table, this employee dimension, what column are we interested in this employee dimension? Now, both tables don't have to be in the same workbook. Nice question. They don't have to. Though normally it's always best. Yeah, but VLOOKUP, XLOOKUP, especially XLOOKUP, can even work when they are not even in the same workbook. So you can write your formulas across different workbooks. So I'm seeing B. So I'm seeing column. I'm seeing this column. And what number? If we're counting this as 1, this should be what? 2, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this should be column what? 2. This should be column 2. So if you remember what I said, this column index number is asking for the number of the column that you are interested in. This is 2. That's the number you're interested in. Now, when you found this information, are you looking for the next best thing? By the next best thing is AJ 1, 2, 3. Maybe there's a name close to that. Are you looking for the next best thing or you're looking for the exact thing? What are we looking for? Are you looking for the next best thing or the exact thing? So we are looking for the exact. Thank you. So in regards to that, for exact, we are going to use 0 or you are going to use false. We are going to use false to find this exact information. Now let's make it make sense. So we've sorted out what we want to do, the bits of information which we are interested in. Let's go in and write our VLOOKUP. So for you to start, be on the cell you want to write your VLOOKUP in, which is this name. And I'm going to do equals to VLOOKUP. Press my tab key. Now, if I select, what did I say our lookup value will be? The code. So I just need to select this first one because the first one out A49. comma, where is the information found? I will have to come to my table. Now, this is an important bit of information. So if you are using a table, your table already has a name. You can get the name and put it there. Or if you press, so you can get the name of the table and put it there. So let me show you. So if I come here, so this is a table. And I think that's what I wanted to start with at first, but the time passed. This is a table. How can you know something is a table or range? In Excel, anytime you have a table is, you will see this table design on top. You see this table design on top. So I'm going to quickly touch on that before we call it a day. I think my colleague tomorrow will continue from there. But for you to know it's in a table, you see this table design on top at the very least. So first of all, I can copy what's this table name? Employee deal, employee dimension. Now it doesn't have to be in a table, it can be in a range, it's fine, your VLOOKUP will still work. But for the sake of this, because I already have a table, I will do the VLOOKUP. Select the code. I'm doing it again. Table array, I can just specify the table name, employee dim, because I have it as a table, comma. Column index number, we all agree this will be 2, right? You all agree this will be 2. Now, when I do, comma, range lookup, I said to get an exact match, we're either looking at false or 0. So if I specify 0, I have an exact match and I've populated the information. Now, if you see, once I populated it for the one, my Excel is using IntelliSense, so it populates it. It populates it for the others. If yours did not do that, you can just double click this to drag it down. And you can see the smiley is changing. The smiley face is changing. The smiley face is changing. So this is simply, we've basically built our VLOOKUP outside. We built our VLOOKUP here, and all we just did is we came here to execute the formula. Is there anything different from what I stated here? Our code, our employee dimension is our table, the column index number is 2, and we're looking for an exact match. Now, I'm looking at time also, so I want us to wrap up at exactly like 12-ish. Now, there's only one other thing I want to add to this, right? I want to add to this. Now, with our knowledge of self-referencing, I want to ask us what will happen if I move this over here. Okay, I've already moved it over here. Why am I having an error? Do anybody know why, or do anybody want to try? I'm getting an error.
Should I read the chat or unmute people to speak?
That one is fine. Yeah, the workbook will be shared immediately after the start. I wanted to share it, but I discovered some of us may not have access to the chat. So, but I'll share the workbook immediately after the class. You'll get it. You even play around with it. I want to see anybody that is able to get the remaining tasks. I'll really, really be impressed. That's what I'll say. So with the knowledge of Excel, why do you think this is giving an error?
Emmanuel, I unmuted you. Emmanuel, you can go ahead and speak.
Okay.
Yeah, hello, can you hear me?
Thank you for the opportunity.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel because the cell is containing a function. You know, we did the VLOOKUP function in that cell. So I just feel, I don't know if I'm correct, but I feel that's why you cannot actually drag it as a reference. I don't know if I'm
Okay.
correct, sir.
No, good try.
Okay,
Good
can
try.
you hear me?
Yeah, quick.
Can you
Yeah,
hear
go
me?
ahead. Yes.
Okay. The reason why you are getting this in error is that that is in the formula is still referencing the number 2, the column 2, which is for the names from the employee dimension table. This is a
Yeah.
worksheet. That's why you are
Yes.
getting. Meanwhile, the age is not on the same on the same column, which is on a different column. So since it is referencing from the number 2, that's why it is giving you the error.
Perfect.
I hope I'm clear.
Perfect. Yeah. So thanks both for the response. So yeah, we're absolutely like correct. So first of all, let me even change it back to code. So let me change. If I change this back to code, this is giving the same results with this, but it's still not correct because, like you said, we've done something which is a problem, which is what is like the last thing which I'm going to cover with us. We've done something which is a problem, and that is what hard coding. As much as you can in your formula in Excel, try to automate what you are doing. Do not hard code in what you are doing. The issue with hard coding is because I've specified this column index number to be 2, I will have to change this. I will have to change this to be 3 here for me to get the right results. How to change this to 3. Now, I can be doing this, changing this to 3, changing this to 4, 5, 6, 7. But if I have up to maybe 1,000 or 100 columns, it will even be a struggle for me to even know which one is column age, which one is column date, department. So that's going to be a struggle. So we've created an issue for ourselves, which is hard coding this value. We can use a formula to get us this column index number. And that's the last thing which I'm going to be talking to us about. And that formula is called match. That formula is called match. So if you remember back here where I said we have lookup functions in Excel, I mentioned match, right? So let me just talk a bit about match. So if I come to formulas, I come to insert function and I go to, I'll just type it match also so that we just see it directly. So match returns the relative position of an item in an array that matches a specified value in a specified order. So let me go to it. Sometimes this one speaks too much English. Okay. So what is match going to return? Match at the end of the day is going to return a number. That's what match is going to tell you. Match is going to look at this column headers, this code, name, age, whatever that we have on top, and it's going to tell us what number each of these values are dynamically. That is what match is going to do for us. So instead of me writing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, match will be able to help us to do it. Now, just quickly, so with this, I just want to pick up speed a bit. So if you are struggling a bit with this part, please just watch the recording a bit. I'm going to pick up speed slightly a bit with this because I want us to close soon as well. So what is match looking for? Match is looking up for three things: lookup value, lookup array, and is looking for range lookup. Range lookup 2 is the same thing with VLOOKUP, which is an exact match. Lookup value, this is talking of the column or the value you are interested in. That is common in both tables. Lookup array is telling you where it can be found. And range lookup is telling you the same thing range lookup is telling you for VLOOKUP. Are you looking for an exact or an approximate? So I want to explain this clearly. So our VLOOKUP works, but our VLOOKUP is dumb. Our VLOOKUP is dumb in the sense of m do equals to formula x. So this is our VLOOKUP formula. Our VLOOKUP is dumb in the sense of we are hard coding. We are telling it that this is always going to be 2. Now, if we are copying to the right, copying to the left, remember our self-referencing is not going to always be the case. So in that sense, it is dumb. It's not smart. To make it smart, we need to replace this 2 that we've hard coded with a formula that can tell us what position name is in these column headers. So let me do a demonstration for this match. So let me take for instance, I'm looking for name. And I'm looking for what position number is named in this particular column headers. I'm going to do equals to match. Lookup value will be name, comma, lookup array. I'll just specify the headers which we have here. And the match type will be 0. Hit enter. What did I get? I'll go over it slowly a bit. Equals to match. Lookup value, my name. Lookup array will be the column headers. Right? Then match type, I want an exact match because I want to look at what position name is on this column, on this table. I'll just close bracket. So this gives us the same 2 values that we have here. Now, can we agree that if this gives us the same 2, can I come to this formula and replace the 2 here? Can I come to this formula and replace the 2 here with this? Do you agree that this will make sense? Will this still give me the same result I want? Do we agree? Do we disagree? Before we continue.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
The formula bar is not visible enough.
Okay. Thank you for that. Let me try to increase it. How about now? Now it's too visible, right? Okay.
It's better now.
Okay.
Please,
Yeah.
can you zoom in with your screen?
Okay, thanks. I'm zooming. Is it better now?
Yes, thank you.
Is it better now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let me go by it again because I know some of us, like we said, to Control Z. So I said match. Let me zoom in on this one. So like I said, match. When I said, what would match tell us? Match can help us find what position. What match does is it helps us find the position of something in a list. So if we want to find what position this this name is in this column, we can use match. If we want to find what position this code is in this row, we can use match to do that. That's what match helps to do. I'll share other videos to cement our learning on match. Maybe the video I'll share on index and match may help properly understand match. But that's how match does. And if you remember, this column index number is asked for this our VLOOKUP, is asking us what number is the column that we are interested in. So I said, if we want to dynamically, before we did hard coding, in this formula, we are saying we want to always find two. Two is the value we are interested in, which is the name. Now, the beauty of no hard coding is if I copy the formula to the right, I don't want to have to change this from 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 7, dependent on my use case in them. I will always have to come and start changing this. But if we use another formula that can help us to do it, it will help us make life a lot easier for ourselves on the long run. Yes, hard coding it will still give us the answer. Don't get me wrong, but it's not best practice. If you write 3, if you change it to 3, you'll still get the answer. If you change it to 4, you still get the answer, but it's not best practice as well. So how can we do best practice in quotes? Best practice. So that's where I now mentioned match. So I said if I want to find out what position this name is on this list, I'll specify this name, comma, lookup array. I just need to select the column headers. Can you see this section, which is the headers? From the code to the inches, Control Shift right arrow key, select to the inches. That's the column headers. Then comma, match type. I just want to find an exact match. That's always going to be 0. And I'll close my bracket and hit enter. So I have the name. The name is at position 2. Do we agree? This is code 1, this is 2 for the name. So I said, if this formula is giving us the position of this name, if I come to this tax, for example, do we agree? That's what I asked first. Do you agree if I replace this 2 with that formula which I created here, will I still get the same results? Do we agree?
Yes,
Will
we'll
I
get the
still
same result.
Yes, we will get the same result. So what I can do is I can come here, instead of having 2, I can do equal, I can remove the 2, press match, press my column, my bracket here. Lookup value will be the name because I'm interested in finding what position the name is, comma. Lookup array will not be everything, will just be the column header. This is for the match, it's not for the VLOOKUP. Match, then comma, I want to see an exact match, then I will close my brackets, and if I hit enter like this, can you see we still got the same formula? We still got the same formula. We still got the same answer. Still got the same answer. Now the difference between these two is if I move this to the right, okay, this is changing to, I can change. The issue is that this is not even an absolute reference. But if I change this, this is supposed to be code. That's why the formula is getting an issue. It's not supposed to be contract age. So if I change this back to code, if I change this back to code, it's because of this Excel sheet I have. This, if I reference this as B, let me just show us what I mean. Instead of using code, if I reference this as maybe B4, and I did, if I reference this as B4, sorry, B15. If I reference this as B15, maybe I did a type of lock. Maybe I did column lock on this instead of row. Yeah, I did column lock instead. You get the same result, but I now drag this to the right. I just want to show that it's working. The only reason why it was getting that issue is because the code wasn't properly referencing. Okay, actually, I have to plug my device. Okay, so that will give us the answer. So this is combining VLOOKUP and match together. Now, like I said, the recording, you'll get, I'll share other resources as well that could help cement your learning, as well.
So sorry guys, it seems like the instructor's laptop went off and it's already even time. So I would suggest let me stop recording.
I had to quickly
If you're
go and
back,
plug my laptop, so it may take,
yeah.
it may take some time for my system to get back on, because I just plugged it. But I can take questions.
Time. Okay, you can take questions. It's nice if you take questions.
Yeah, so I can quickly take questions, and like I said, I'm going to share the file. I'm going to share the file with us as well. And maybe whoever is coming in for the next session can do a recap. I'll make sure the person does a recap of what we did at the tail end using VLOOKUP and match. It's not complex. It's just slightly technical. That's it. With XLOOKUP, you don't have to do all of that stress. With XLOOKUP, it's just simple. But because of version of Excel, you may not have some people may not have XLOOKUP. Some people may have XLOOKUP. I could share videos on XLOOKUP, and that way you see XLOOKUP. Life is easier with XLOOKUP as well. But it's also good for us to understand how things were done before, so that if you want to tweak things, you will be able to tweak things easily. But like I said, I'm here to take questions. If anybody have one or two questions before we call it a day. But hope we enjoyed today's class. Hope we enjoyed.
Yes, the class was great, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so I don't think I can see any questions so far. Thank you very much for joining the class. Like I said, tag me on if you did not see it on Discord. So if you did not see it on Discord, if you don't see the file and the videos which I said on Discord, tag me there as well, so that I do not forget that, oh, I said I was going to share the file, share the assignment. So you should see it today, not today. If you don't see it today, please ensure you tag me. So the file
Sir,
and
please, I
other
have a
videos.
question.
Please go ahead.
Can you use the match in place of the VLOOKUP in that table? Like in
You
place of
can
using the VLOOKUP format and adding the match, can you just use the match alone?
you can you can use match alone, but like but you can use match and index, not match alone. Because match normally just helps with really getting position. That's what match helps to do. Getting if you want to get the position of a row or a column, match can help you to do that. But if you want to do, there's another way to go about what we did. That's using index and match. So match is normally a conjunction function, like a function that you use along with other functions. Sorry, I'm hearing some background noise. Yeah, happiness. Can you turn that up? Yeah. So match is normally a function you use along with other functions as well. Uh, as well. So using index and match, you can do it. It's just that match becomes slightly complicated. I know a lot of people run away from index and match. That's why I started with VLOOKUP. And like I said, you can always do the VLOOKUP during the specifying counting the column number, but it's not best practice. It's hard coding. And if you have XLOOKUP, your life is a lot easier. You don't have to do VLOOKUP. You don't have to do VLOOKUP and match. You don't have to do that with XLOOKUP. You can basically do what you want to achieve without combining the two functions together. But like I said, I will share some resources. Also, it's also important to note on our YouTube channel we have some of the videos which we've done before. So one thing which I encourage you to do is each cohort we have different teaching styles, we have different ways we explain things. So in each of our cohorts, you may even discover something new. I'm not saying you jump ahead to start watching beyond what is what, but I'm sure if you check maybe cohort three, Excel day 3 class, cohort 4 Excel day 4 class. If you check those videos on Anchor 5 as well, if you check those videos on our YouTube channel, you most likely learn a thing or two. So what you can do, maybe in preparation for the class, just my recommendation is you could watch the day before, like how the class have been split on YouTube. Thankfully, how we did it was that the class on YouTube, each class you have days, and just like the days we have. So you could watch the day before. So that could also prep your mind a bit if you are really eager to learn. And when you come to class, learning can be a lot more interactive. You can ask questions. Oh, you saw this was done in this place. What is the recommendation? What is this and that? But like I said, I'll also share some additional resources which could help you properly understand this thing. But hope we enjoyed today's session. And sorry we ate a little bit into our time today. I think happiness to share the quiz and some other things with us later. Thank you.
Sir, please one more thing, just to be clear. That means if we have X lookup, we can do the match and the V lookup and the H lookup in one. You don't have to do all of them, just the X lookup will do everything.
Yeah, XLOOKUP most likely do everything. Though there are some scenarios, that but XLOOKUP normally for most scenarios will be able to cover most things that your VLOOKUP index and match are doing. So it's a newer
Okay, thank you
function.
very much.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Happiness, over to you.
So thank you, Joseph, for that amazing class. I think I also even learned a lot, especially that tick and talk, O and X. I think we need a separate tutorial to do that. I think
Okay, no problem, no problem.
so. Thank you so much for that class. It was very informative.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Mhm.